So good morning. I just want to start out by telling you there's no such thing as perfect human symmetry. It's impossible. There's too much variation and there's too many things going on with how we use the body, how we're born, how we split in the egg to form perfect symmetry. But what we want to do is get as close as we can to human symmetry, even though our bodies may not be asymmetrical. So in other words, we want our bodies to move as symmetrically as possible, even though they're not perfect. Because what happens is, over time, what happens is we start compensating, and we start modifying, and it creates strengths and stretch and coordination imbalances that create situations in the body that lead to pain because of imbalance. So in human systems, when we compensate, since we're supposed to move closer to symmetry, it doesn't do as good a job and it starts overusing parts of our body. In a mechanical system, what we'll do is we'll actually modify the mechanical structure for an asymmetrical load, if that makes sense. So if we look at NASCAR, NASCAR is driven in a circle. Isn't that weird that as an Asian male I watch NASCAR? In NASCAR, the track is ramped and they only go in one direction, typically, unless they do what's called a road course, and they only do that once a year at Infineon. But anyways, so they have modified the vehicle so the wheels on one side of the vehicle are larger and the one into the berm are smaller. They modified the suspension. They've done all sorts of crazy things to get a vehicle that turns really well in a turn. In the human body, we don't want that to happen because that creates asymmetry, and that asymmetry creates injury because we'll start overusing different parts of our body. So stance like this will eventually cause problems if we do not stand also like this. It's not to say that we have to stand perfectly straight and in military posture all the time, but we want to be able to default and come back to center, recenter after everything we do, so it takes the load off the body. And that's why in this class we always go back to some basic things and we look to see if there's an asymmetrical load in the body. Okay? So that's where we're going to start, and we're going to start way down in the feet. We're going to look to see if there's an asymmetrical load in the feet. So you're going to start out with your feet parallel, the ball's underneath your left foot, and you're just rolling out your foot. Keep those feet parallel, try to keep the knees over the tops of your feet, your abs are engaged, you're moving from your hips, both knees are locked out, and your abs are nice and tight. So we're examining how we use our feet. There should be no soreness under the feet. You can do anything you want under the feet as long as you keep the feet parallel. You can roll the non-weight bearing portion of your foot, which is like the arches of your feet and in between your toes, or you could roll the weight bearing portion, that's your footprint. Get all the different points out, soreness out, and remember the soreness that you're feeling in your foot is not because of the ball, but because how you use your foot. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy, and then switch sides. By now you should be getting an idea of what your feet feel like, where you have your sore spots, and why you have your sore spots, and largely to do with asymmetrical load. If one foot is more sore than the other, that means you're walking heavier through one foot than the other. And the goal of the human body is to take work from your feet and transfer it to parts of your body that do a better job of managing it. Say big muscles like your quads, your butts, your abs, your calves. The bones of the feet and the muscle of the feet are tiny, so we don't want to keep the work down there. Get all the parts of your foot, abs are nice and tight, whoops. Roll it out. Good, now we're going to look at motion of the foot. Drop your heel down as the ball goes under the ball of your foot. You're going to squeeze your toes down like you're trying to grab that ball, and then you're going to lift your toes. Toes go apart, and then together, and apart, together, and apart. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy, your smiles are up. It is so easy to forget basic functioning of the body, so you can take it closer to your toe, pinky toe. Doing this, you can take it closer to your great toe. Just move it around, toes down and together, open and separated. This is actually how the foot's supposed to work, and it should be easy. I'm going to grab the roller real quick. As we stretch over the top of the ball, taking your right foot and pushing down each one of the toes individually over the top of the ball. This should not be painful because the foot is supposed to do this. This is saving you from your coffee table. So when you slam your little toe into the coffee table, it doesn't have to snap off. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. And you're breathing. Woo-wee. This should not be sore. Move your foot forward a little bit more and see what happens. Abs are nice and tight. So we're just looking for asymmetry. Okay, now we're switching sides. Same thing on this side. You're going to start out by curling those toes around and lifting and separating. Together, separate, together, separate. Try not to use your nostrils. Keep your abs engaged. Smiles are up. Keep breathing. And then, like we did on the other side, you can take it to your pinky toe and see what it feels like to do these different things. Or you could take it out towards your great toe. Try to keep your feet parallel. Just feel what it feels like to spread those toes and then curl them up. Okay, and now you're going to take your left foot and start bending your toes down over the top of the ball. Should not be painful because this is what your foot's designed to do. Abs are nice and tight. Notice if it's sore on one side than the other side, you can move the ball a little bit further forward and you roll over the top of your toes with your foot. Abs are nice and tight, smiles are up. And a little bit more further forward just to see how things bend. Abs are nice and tight. Hold that balance, core is on. It is a noisy day. It's been a day of birds, garbage trucks, and mechanical things going on outside. Okay? Take your feet off the ball. See what the ground feels like underneath you now. It should feel a whole lot different as we go into basic stance. And once again, looking for that symmetry. Feet parallel, hips width apart. Hips width apart is here's your ASIS, here's your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is hips width apart. So see what it feels like to have your feet hips width apart. Now you're going to send your feet parallel based upon your second toe. So your stance is more narrow than you think. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to slightly turn out your knees, but keep your feet parallel and straighten your legs. Then you're going to push down big toe in the corresponding metatarsal head. The outer four toes in the corresponding metatarsal head, but especially that pinky toe. Look for that symmetry. And finally, your heel. 1/3 of the weight is through the balls of your feet, 1/3 of the weight through your toes, and finally 1/3 the weight through your heels. Abs are nice and tight, time under tension. We want the calves on, we want the quads on, but now we're going to turn on the core. Pelvic floor goes on. Lower abs go on, upper abs go on. So first chakra is your pelvic floor, second chakra is your lower abs, third chakra is your upper abs. Fire it all up, draw it all in, close it up as you draw your shoulder blades down and back, head over the top of your pelvic floor. We're looking for that symmetry once again. Abs are nice and tight as we start out just going hips side to side. We're looking for symmetry of movement. It's okay if you bend your knees as long as your knees go straight forward, straight back, and they're not going medial to lateral. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy as we now turn this into a hip circle. We're looking for symmetry. So try to make this as symmetrical as possible. Abs are nice and tight, smiles are up, and this would explain why you get low back pains in certain movements, or you get knee pains or shoulder pains. Opposite direction, smiles are up, suck in that tummy. We want the movement coming from your core. 9 and 10, good. We're going to continue to stretch, looking for symmetry or asymmetry, because this would explain low back pain. And this is why, in most cases, this is what we have to explain to our clients all the time, is that low back pain starts in your calves. It doesn't start in your low back. I know you lifted something, but often the case is it starts in your low back. So the ball of your foot's down, your heel's down, your abs are nice and tight. We're stretching our calf out. You're sucking in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. Chest is up. Okay? Now, you're going to pump your hips forward. Keeping those feet parallel, knees over the tops of your feet, you're looking for lengthening of your gastrocnemius and to see, once again, if we have balance. If the gastroc gets tight, what happens is our shoulders round, our head goes forward, and our tummy lets go. You're going to do the opposite. You're going to tighten your tummy, draw your shoulder blades down back, tuck that chin in as you pump those hips forward. Okay? And then we're going to break it into a hip circle. You're just feeling what it feels like to do symmetrical motion over the top of this leg, even though we're doing it asymmetrically. Because a hip circle is integral to a healthy body. Opposite direction, abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing. And good, we're gonna switch sides. We're just looking for that same thing. We're looking for symmetry. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy, shoulder blades are down back. Tighten your abs, draw your shoulder blades down and back, smiles are up, and you're pumping your hips forward. We're stretching out, once again, that gastrocnemius, so responsible for posture and low back problems. So if there's an imbalance from side to side, it'll explain your low back problems. And in most cases, when we're treating clients, this is all we're working on is calf tightness. Open it up as you now do hip circles. Keep breathing. See what it feels like to make a symmetrical hip circle? Because every athletic motion is hidden in a hip circle. This is why it's important that we can do a hip circle. You are breathing. And then go in the opposite direction. Abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing. Okay, good. Now you have gotten your first feel of what symmetry feels like. So how are you doing? How's the balance feel on each side? Was one side tighter than the other? Did we relieve some of the pressure in your low back? Abs are nice and tight. You're standing. See what stance feels like once again, because we're going to continue to stretch. Okay, so you're going to put the block underneath your left calf again. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to go heavy on your left calf and left hip. You're going to take your leg across midline. We're doing a stretch first, chest nice and tall, sucking your tummy, shoulder blades down and back. This is a sit-up. So you're going to suck in that tummy and then release. Suck in that tummy and release. Feel what it feels like to create stabilization from your abs, because this is time under tension. So we won't work into your abs, not into your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it means that you have turned off your abs and you're using joints instead of muscles, because we want to work muscles instead of joints. Lean forward a little bit more. We're pressuring in. We're creating stretch into your calf and your glute max. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Keep breathing. And as you lean forward, you should feel like the pressure can almost come off that rear leg, and that's exactly what we're going to do as we lift and lower. That's 2, 3. Abs are nice and tight. 4. Notice my head's not moving. 4. That's 5. Actually 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. We're switching sides. Okay. Feet are parallel first. You're going heavy into your right hip. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. And now you're going to take that leg across midline. You're breathing. You're sticking your booty cheek out. Chest is up. Abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up. Ooh. Sit-up time. You're going to suck in your tummy, tighten your abs, release. Tighten your abs, release. Tighten your abs, release. Notice if one side there's more tension in your butt than your abs. Try to get the tension work into your abs and out of your butt. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to hinge forward a little bit more. Keep your abs engaged. And now we're going to hold. Shoulder blades are down and back. And then now you're going to lift lower that rear leg. You're doing it with a straight leg. Don't bend at the knee. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. We're coming back onto 2 feet once again. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to hip circle it. Notice what the tension feels like in your low back. Everything we've done so far should be relieving pressure down there. Now go in the opposite direction. Okay, now we do our muscular load work. You're going to take your right leg forward, left leg back. Abs are nice and tight. Hi, Wolfie. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Lift that rear heel. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to hinge forward slightly, chest up, abs on. Now we start doing sit-ups. Suck in that tummy, release. Suck in that tummy, release. Suck it in, release. Suck it in, and release. Shoulder blades are down and back. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your back muscles short. No pressure in the joints of your low back. We're working muscles, not joints. Abs are nice and tight. The work should be in your butt and your quad. Stabilizing through your abs, drawing back with your lats. Here we go. We're going to touch the ground nice and slow. Time under tension, so we're going nice and slow. That's 1. 2. Abs. 3. Suck in that tummy. Stabilizing. 4. Hi, Wolfie. 5. 6. 7. Abs. No pressure in your low back. 8. 9. 10. Okay, you can put your hand on the roller. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. We're going to pitch forward. Keep your abs engaged as you lift and lower that rear leg. You can use a roller for balance, or if you don't need it, that's fine. Ooh, a little off balance today. 3. 4. Always put your foot back to the same place. 5. Head doesn't move. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Good job. We are gonna switch sides. So we're gonna see what it feels like on this side compared to the other side. Okay, once in this position, high heel in the rear leg, front leg is bent, knees over top of your foot. We're gonna start out with our sit-ups. Suck in your tummy, release. Suck in your tummy, release. Keep breathing. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, keeping your shoulder blades down and back, your front knee is bent, quad is on, butt is on, abs are engaged, lats are on, no pressure in your low back. We're gonna touch the ground. If you're feeling pressure in your low back, it means that your abs have somehow shut off and you're rounding your spine and you're putting work into the joints. So push your hips back. 4. Shoulder blades down and back. 5. Abs sucked in. 6. 7. Abs. 8. 9. Notice if it's easier or harder on one side. 10. And then we're back in this position. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to pitch forward slightly. You're going to keep your foot in exactly the same spot. You can use a roller for balance or not, and you're going to lift and lower your rear leg, putting it back in the same place every time. Try not to move your head. 5, 6, abs, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Standing now, you're going to do hip circles, just noticing how we used our body. Did it go into your back? Or did the work stay in your butt? Keep breathing. Opposite direction. So this is starting to explain why people get back pain. It's from asymmetrical use of the muscles. We're going to look at another division of it. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. It's crossing midline. We're not looking for alignment over the top of the knee on this one. It's going to be slightly cambered. So here's what would be gravitational, and that's the line of what's going through the foot. Abs are nice and tight, front knee is bent, rear leg is straight, high heel in the rear. Abs are nice and tight, open. And I want you to contract your right butt cheek, keep your abs engaged, and then you're gonna close. Open, close. Keep leaning forward, don't use your low back. We're using your right booty cheek. Suck in that tummy, abs stay engaged. The angle of your upper body is not changing. Nine, 10, okay? We're gonna drop that hip down so it's in this lowest position. Abs are nice and tight, shoulder blades are down and back. You're touching the ground. Don't use your low back. Do use your abs. You're absolutely using your butt and your quads. Keep breathing. 8, 9, 10. Feel how we're creating shape with your bottom and your butt as we use our muscles properly. Open your hips up. So this is what I call flamenco position. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. Your hips are open, so your knee and your hip as far apart as possible. And you're gonna touch with now your right hand. Left hand's in the air, 2. Suck in that tummy, no pressure in your low back. 3, 4, 5, balance. 6, time under tension, so core's on. 7, that's 8. 9, 10, good, we're switching sides. So we're looking for time under tension. Time under tension is that we're using the muscles properly, stabilizing with muscles, not using joints, okay? Front leg is bent, front knee is bent. It's cambered, so it's angling in, not over the top of the foot. Rear leg is off behind you, abs are nice and tight. I'm trying to angle so the camera can see. Your feet are parallel, you're sucking in your tummy. We're gonna lean forward. You should feel a stretch on your butt, activate your abs, as now you open and close your hips using your left butt cheek, keeping this leg bent. So the quad is not doing the work, the butt is. Keep your abs engaged, especially at the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we're gonna stay in the closed position. Abs are nice and tight. Keep that hip low. Abs are nice and tight as you touch the ground. Keep your abs engaged, no pressure in your low back. 2, 3. Now we're really studying symmetry and balance. 4, 5, shoulders back. 6, really work on posture. 7, abs. 8, 9, 10, good. Okay, then now we're gonna open up the hip. So we're comparing left to right. Notice if this side's easier or harder. Bend that front knee, hips are open, abs are nice and tight, chest is up. And you're gonna hinge forward, and then here we go. Keep breathing. Whoa, hold that balance. 5, reach back with that right hand. 6, 7, keep the hips open, abs engaged. 8, 9, one more. 10, oh dear. We're gonna come back up into standing as we do hip circles. Notice if your butt was evenly sore, evenly tight, could activate just as easily on both sides as on one side, and then go in the opposite direction. Keep breathing. Okay, we're gonna go into a wide stance. So right foot forward, left foot is out. So if you had a mat, it'd be mat edge to edge on the mat. Front knee is bent, rear leg is straight. This is a posture we use more than you think. We're gonna hinge slightly forward, abs nice and tight. Make sure that knee is now over the top of your foot. I'm gonna line up with the camera. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back, chest up. Lean forward though, abs engaged. Shoulder blades are down and back, and here we go. We're gonna touch the ground. One, abs are nice and tight, no pressure in your low back. Like I said, this is a commonly used pattern, so I want you to make sure you do this perfectly. And symmetrical. 4, 5, abs. 6, 7, abs. No pressure in your low back. 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're gonna switch legs. So we're seeing how an imbalance in your hips could create problems in your shoulders and your neck. We're going edge to edge on your mat. If you have one, knees are over the tops of your feet, sucking that tummy. Shoulder blades are down back, we're leaning forward. We're engaging our core. So this is where we'll notice if one side's stronger than the other. And as right-handed people, this one will be typically easier, because we're used to picking things up off the ground with our right hand. Abs are nice and tight. 4, smiles are up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep the work in your abs and your butt, in your quad, not your low back. 9, one more. 10, good. Back onto 2 feet. We're gonna see what that hip circle feels like. As you're feeling for symmetry, we should have created balance, not imbalance. No pressure in your low back. It should have been in your butt and your quads. Okay. Now we're gonna break it down a little further. You're gonna go onto your left knee, right foot goes forward. Should look like this on your block. If you don't have the block, you can use a ground or a towel. We're just using it for padding. I'm using it for contrast so you can see my knee. Abs are nice and tight. Head stays over the top of the block. That's the key piece right there. No matter what happens, keep your head over the top of the block as you move your hips around. You're sucking in your tummy. We're activating what's called the righting reflex, which is what we use to keep our head and our body upright. We're looking for symmetrical circles. 8, 9, 10, opposite direction. 10, 9, abs. 8, no head motion. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to stretch forward, side to side. Notice if you have symmetry of motion side to side, even on one side of your body, as we also compare it to the opposite side of our body. Suck in that tummy. Okay, now take your right hand, reach back, grab that left foot. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down back. Push your hips forward. Chest up even more, abs engaged, hip circles. We're stretching out the rectus femoris, but now we can see how the rectus femoris could prevent us from doing a hip circle as well. So we need to work on it. Creating symmetry of motion and motion asymmetrically. If that makes sense, smiles are up. Opposite direction. Okay, good. Take your leg across midline. Your roller goes forward. You're gonna reach, 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 and then reach some more. Then take your right arm back behind you. You're reaching. It's like you're hurdling. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Really draw the abs in. We're working muscles. We're stretching muscles and not joints. Suck in that tummy. Okay, good. We're gonna come back up. We're gonna play with balance. Balance is important in symmetry. Hands going to stick them up. We're gonna lift, hold, gently lower. Keep your abs engaged. Keep your core on. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. That helps a lot. Smiles are up. Ooh. Ah. 8, 9, 10. Good. We're gonna switch sides momentarily. That and my block's changing shape on me. Abs are nice and tight. Head over the top of the block. Hip circles. Try not to move your head. We're using the righting reflex. We're not using how much we can throw the head off the center reflex. Abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up. Add a detail. Watch the alignment of your left knee to make sure it's not moving all over the place. Opposite direction. Smiles are up. Good. We're going to stretch forward. Abs are nice and tight. We're going side to side, looking for symmetry. Or looking for imbalance, because we're going to correct imbalance. Notice how the front knee really doesn't move. It's the hips that are in motion, so you can move your hips without moving your knees. Okay, good. We're going to come back. And you're going to reach back, grab a hold of that right foot with your left hand. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to push your hips forward. You stretch that rectus femoris out as we do our hip circles. Once again, you can see how muscles can influence motion of the body, creating asymmetry. Suck in that tummy. Opposite direction. Smiles are up. Okay. Release that leg behind you. We're going to cross this leg across midline. We're going to reach forward with your right hand. Left hand goes to the rear. We're hurdling. Abs are nice and tight. Chest is up. Shoulder blades are down and back. Smiles are up. Keep breathing. And 10. Okay, we're going to work on the balance now that we created flexibility. We're going to notice if we have symmetry of balance. So we're going to lift, hold, gently lower. So symmetry isn't also with muscular development. It's flexibility and it's coordination. Nine. 10. Good. Staying here, we're going to just switch sides. You don't even need to use your hands. Okay? Put this off to the side. I'm going to try to line up with the camera. Okay, we're going to do some jumping. So you're going to come back into your thinker pose. Okay? Just see what it feels like to be in this position. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to do some jumping here. So you're going to take your left arm forward with your right leg. So you're going to go like this. 1, abs are nice and tight. 2, keep your core engaged. You're using muscles and not joints, so you shouldn't feel your knee or your low back. You should feel your butt muscles and your quad muscles, your abs and your lats. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. These are small angle exercises, so they're important. And we really want to see if we have symmetry with small angles. Long angles are easy because we stand all day. Okay? Squat position here. Yeah, so I had a client who couldn't understand his low back. I went to bend his knees. One knee bent beyond 90 degrees. The other one could barely go 45 degrees, and I'm like, that's the problem right there. It's asymmetry of motion. All day long, one leg swinging long, one swinging short. Creates imbalance in the body, low back pain. So we had to work on his knee to make his back feel better. And here we go, right hand follows left leg as you jump forward, and then back. Abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing, keep your chest up, shoulder blades down and back. Jaws nice and relaxed. 5, you're using muscles, not joints. 6, you're using your quads, you're using your butt, you're using your abs, you're using your lats. You're not using your knee joint, you're not using your hips or your spine. 10, good. Same thing, hands stick them up, switch sides. Okay, this one's a little weird. You first might need your roller. You're gonna take, I don't have enough space. You're gonna take your right leg back behind you. This is where we work on strength of the hip without cheating it into the knee or the foot. So this is why it's important. Hands go back behind you. Rear leg is straight. Woo. Toes are off the ground. Get your core on so that doesn't happen. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna hinge forward and then come back up. You're using your butt. You're stabilizing your abs. You should not feel this in your low back at all. 4, 5, smiles up. 6, 7, 8, 9, one more. 10, awesome. Switch sides. See what it's like not to use your hands to grab hold of stuff in order to shift. Okay? First, take your left leg back behind you. Get your balance. Abs are nice and tight. Arms go back behind you. Rear leg is straight. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. Hinge forward, come back up. You're using your butt. You're using your quad. You're using your abs. And you're using your belly. Lats, I mean. When did I get belly? I don't know. 5, 6, 7. You're not using any joints. 9, 10. Awesome. Let's come into kneeling. Okay. We're gonna lean back, do some work. You're sucking in your tummy, knees are together, toes are pointed. You're doing sit-ups. You're sucking in your tummy, then releasing. Sucking in your tummy, releasing. Shoulder blades are down and back, abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up. Change the shape of your abdomen or your abs will never change shape. Feel for symmetrical stretch in your quad muscles and the tops of your feet. One set of toes should not bend more than the other. So here's where we pop wheelies. Your knees come off the ground. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy and release. If you can't do this, you're gonna break toes. So we gotta be able to do this. Right, Annie? Abs are nice and tight. Tighten those abs. Okay, now we're gonna curl those toes under. If you feel excessive pressure in those metatarsal head, those are the knuckles of the toes. Push your heels back. Push, 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 push them back. Abs are nice and tight. You're gonna lean back. Try to keep those knees together. Chest up, shoulder blades are down and back. Here we go once again. Tighten your abs. Tighten your abs. Don't get your excuse me. Don't get your abs mixed up with your butt. I want you to tighten your abs. Shoulder blades are down and back. Change the shape of your abdomen. Smiles are up. Okay, now we're gonna push our hips forward. Hips forward. Stay with your toes curled under. Shoulder blades are down back. Suck in your tummy, release. Suck in your tummy, release. we're getting used to lengthening the quad muscles and keeping the abs engaged. This time we are using the butt to keep the hips forward. 9, 10, awesome. Okay, ball goes down, ball on top of block. We're working the pelvic floor. Okay, ball's underneath your pelvic floor. It's midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Because we're working that pelvic floor and all the pelvic floor structures, we're going to start out by squeezing. Squeeze that ball as hard as you can, release, squeeze, release. You're going to add your abs, close up your rib cage. Now, most importantly, get your head over top of the ball as you squeeze, release, squeeze, release. This is now about pelvic floor. Pelvic floor asymmetry is disastrous. It leads to things like incontinence, back problems, headaches, you name it, because it's so midline and it's a fundamental structure of movement and balance. So we're going to just work on getting it really symmetrical. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Okay, we're going to do a few of the Rocket Man exercises from here. You're going to push away like you're Rocket Man, shooting lasers out of your palms of your hands. Draw your shoulder blades down and back as you push down, like you're pushing yourself out of a swimming pool or a manhole. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. And here we go. You're going to keep pushing out like you're shooting lasers out the front of your hands. Abs are nice and tight. Push. So this time your shoulders are coming apart. Over the top of your head, push. Your shoulders are going near your ears, over the top of your head, and then back down. So we're pushing the whole time. We're pushing into the ground. We're pushing forward. Abs are engaged, sucking your tummy. At no point does your tummy shut off. You're keeping your shoulders in what is called protraction instead of retraction. Keep breathing. Abs are nice and tight. Push away, push away, push away, push away. Abs are nice and tight. Don't lose ab control. Make sure the head stays over the top of the ball. 4, one more. 5, push away. Okay, good. Shake out your arms. We're gonna push down. We're Rocket Man again. Push down, shoulders come apart. Push apart, like you're pushing the walls apart. Your shoulders, the dimension between your two shoulders are as far apart as possible as you now take it over the top of your head. Push to the ceiling, abs are nice and tight like you're diving into the ceiling, and then we're coming back down. Keep pushing apart. That's it. Keep pushing apart as you bring your arms up and down. Keep your abs engaged, keep your head over top of the ball. This is shoulder stability, or sorry, shoulder mobility with stability of the core. Smiles are up. Keep pushing away. This is 5. Keep pushing away. Dive into the ceiling. And then back down. Good. Shake out those arms. Okay. Once again, we're Rocket Manning it. We're going to push our hands away like you're pushing into the wall. Then we're going to push apart. Shoulders are apart. And you're going to take it as far behind you as you can to fly forward. And then you're going to come forward. Keep breathing. Chest up, abs on, head over top of the ball. Pelvic floor on. Don't lose the pelvic floor just because your arms are in motion. Yes. And good. Shake out those arms. Okay. Shoulder blades are down and back. Now we're going to suck the bowling balls into the palm of the hand. Draw your shoulder blades down and back on this one. Just keep them squeezed like there's a pencil in between your shoulder blades. You're going to push forward. Keep your shoulders away from your ears on this one. As we go up, abs engaged, suck in that tummy. And then back down. Keep your abs engaged. Head over top of ball, pelvic floor on, shoulder blades down, back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. That's 2. Keep breathing. So we were working with the dancer yesterday, and it was so interesting to find out this dancer held her breath the whole time she did her routine. So that means if she does a 3-minute and 50-second routine, she's holding her breath for 3 minutes and 50 seconds. This is why she would be exhausted and have headaches after doing her routines. Keep those shoulder blades squeezed together and make sure you breathe is the point to that whole story. And shake those arms out. Once again, draw your shoulder blades down and back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, suck those bowling balls into the palms of your hands as you take your arms out to the side. You're opening and closing. This time your shoulders stay away from your ears. As your hands go up, you're gonna look like Restaurant Buddha. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your abs engaged, nothing shuts off. Pull everything in. You're narrowing the distance between your shoulders as you pull together. This should be 4. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Draw them down as your hands go over the top of your head. 5. Draw. Pull. Abs. Very nice. Good job. Okay, shake out those arms. Arms out in front of you. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. Abs are nice and tight. It's like you're pulling the walls towards you. Take them as back far behind you. You're pulling chains into your body, and you're keeping everything close. Don't let your shoulders undo themselves, even in the front. Keep breathing. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. 3. 4. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Chest is up. Abs are on. Head's over top of the ball. 5. Okay. Release. Shake it out. Take your right leg forward. Left leg stays on the ground. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to work with the right hand. We're going to do range of motion of this arm. You can do up over top of your head, but you're moving it. You're trying both, in the shoulder and out of the shoulder. We're doing ranges of motion. See what it's like back behind you, over top of your head, leaning over in either direction. Yes, good job everyone. Okay, now we're gonna do it with our left hand, same thing. Range of motion, see what it feels like. This is an asymmetrical load, so we want to make sure we know how to stabilize and that the core stays on and things feel symmetrical once we compare it side to side. Take it across your body and back. See what it feels like. Good. All you're going to do is switch your legs, and this is where we compare the symmetry. We're going to start out with your left hand once again. You're going to set it in motion. See what it feels like to move. Keep breathing. Keep your jaw relaxed. Something stuck in my teeth. Feel what it feels like to move. Okay, good. Now you switch arms. See what the motion feels like on this side. Feels what symmetry feels like. Or if it's easier to move on one side more than the other. Or that you predominate a motion, because this is now your right arm in motion. Keep breathing. So don't be a dancer who holds her breath for 3 minutes and 50 seconds to do a dance routine. Okay, good. Both feet come forward. Abs are nice and tight. Grab a hold of your knees. Chest is up. Suck in that tummy. We're gonna bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. This is ballistic use of the pelvic floor. It's got to be able to hold together, or when you're laughing, jogging, or coughing, you're gonna pee in your pants if you can't do this. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. Bounce, 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 bounce. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Make sure the head's over the top of the ball. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on your knees. We're going to go into recovery position. Keep breathing. You're recovering. Shoulder blades are down and back as we now do sit-ups. Sucking your tummy, tighten your pelvic floor, which you should be hyper aware of, and then release. Do it again and release. We're going to do it 10 times. Keep breathing. Three, 2, change the shape of your tummy. 1, good. We're gonna come to the ground. Easy peasy. Michael's gonna move the mic before he leans on it. Ball goes in the small of your back. Your hands are down, your abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. We're gonna work the core. You're gonna try to pop that ball by tightening your abs, tightening your abs, tightening your abs. Your job is squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, abs are nice and tight. So we're using and isolating to our abs. We're not using our chest or our neck. Our smiles are up. Change the shape of your abdomen. It's not going to happen on its own. 9, 10. Okay, good. Stay here. You're going to grab a hold of your knees now. Same thing. Suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy, release. Jaws relaxed. Chest is up. Shoulder blades are down and back. You're working only your abs. And now that this has become super easy, we are going to work the arms in the retracted position. So keep the shoulder blades down and back as you move your arms symmetrically or asymmetrically. You're going to rotate, but make sure to do extension behind you. You can do one arm at a time. Woo, the curtain. But keep your shoulder blades down and back. Keep everything in motion. And you're moving. This will force you to use your core in shoulder stabilization. You can reach. You can go back behind you. Woo. But you're keeping those shoulder blades down and back. And good. Arch over top of the ball. Rock your hips from side to side. We're looking for symmetry of motion. You should have used your abs, not your psoas muscles. So if you feel the front of your hips, well, you use your psoas muscle. We want you to use your abs. These are the muscles right down the center in the front. You should not have used your back. That's your psoas muscle as well. Okay, sit back up again. Your legs are gonna go straight. We're starting out by doing our sit-ups. You're sucking in your tummy, you're releasing. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Yesterday, Maria and I went down to Home Depot and Lowe's. We went there about 6 o'clock, and the next thing we hear is the announcement that the store is closing in 5 minutes. Where did 4 hours of our life go? We only bought like 5 things, but you got to do like 9.5 miles looking for those 5 things. Because you have to go, is it here? Is it here? Could they possibly put it here? Can we get help? I don't think we can get, does anyone work here? That's what you're doing the whole time you're in the Lowe's. Okay, now that you got that, keep your abs engaged. Arms go out in front of you. You're gonna draw your shoulders out now. This is protraction. Long neck. You're gonna set everything into motion again. You can do it one arm at a time. You can do it off to a side. You can have symmetry, you can have asymmetry, but you're having movement. Notice if you're starting a pattern that's not symmetrical, and then make it into a symmetrical pattern. Keep breathing. Make sure to do extension behind you. Fire up those abs. You can add twist. Suck in that tummy. Change the shape of your abdomen. You can do work over the top of your head, which is always fun. And then now arch over the top of the ball. So earlier on, I talked to you about how this client of mine had low back pain because one knee could bend fully and the other knee could not bend at all. And that created asymmetrical movement that created a low back problem. And he thought it was his low back and it was actually his knee. So we're going to work on that. Bend your knees, ball goes underneath your sacrum. Knees are going to, legs go up in the air, abs are nice and tight. And we're going to drop your heels to your butt. Just drop. Drop. As you drop, your knees should be pain-free, discomfort-free, and soreness-free because this is non-load bearing. If it is, figure out what muscles you have to tighten up, whether you have to internally or externally rotate your feet, tighten your abs, fire up your core, whatever it is, you're trying to figure it out so there's no discomfort in your knees because that asymmetry creates a huge problem in the mechanics of your spine and your neck. Okay, now we're going to take it to a walk, one side at a time. Again, no pain in the knees. This is a nice, leisurely walk. Abs are engaged, stuck in that tummy, nothing turns off. And then we're going to take it up to a quicker paced walk. And now we're going to take it to a jog. Abs are engaged. Again, no pressure or discomfort into the knees. Knees should be pain-free. You're non-load bearing. And then double time. Abs are engaged, stuck in your tummy. You have to keep your core on so you don't fall off balance. This is asymmetrical movement, but we want a symmetrical feeling. Keep your abs engaged. Remember, the knee is the largest joint in the body, and it only does one thing, so it shouldn't have any problems. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten your legs out against the ball. Rock your hips from side to side. See if you accidentally use your low back instead of your knees. Abs are engaged. Just keep rocking side to side. I'm switching out the music. Where's it? Yeah, there it is. Okay, you're going to go on the roller lengthwise now. Butt is on one end, head is on the other end. Your feet are parallel, knees are bent. Your hands can come out to your side. What I do want you to do is wiggle your head off the end of the roller just a tiny bit, just so your crown of your head is level with your pelvic floor. And that there's a nice curve in your cervical spine. You're going to activate pelvic floor, close up third chakra, suck in second chakra. Let your arms come out to side as you breathe. We examined symmetry and balance, coordination and balance in the body, flexibility and balance too, for that fact. And we noticed where in the body it wasn't exactly symmetrical. And those asymmetrical spots lead to problematic situations in your back, your neck, your shoulders, your elbow, your jaw, all sorts of crazy places you wouldn't think it should be involved with, even into your knees, feet, and ankles. We noticed what it was like to coordinate breath. Like I said, I have a dancing client that holds her breath for an insane amount of time, activating the mammalian dive reflex instead of being a dancer. So breathe. Really feel what it feels like to connect to breathing into the symmetry you've created. because that symmetry and balance into your center is how we create meditation. You guys stay on your roller. I'm going to come off to bring you home. Feel the lengthening of that space between your pelvic floor and the crown of your head. Feel the drawing in of your abdomen and the raising of your chest, the drawing in of your shoulders. Feel the breath going in and out of your bodies. Feel the centering that's starting to happen. And feel how you're going into the receptive mode of being able to receive instead of doing. That your mind's letting go of the plans it has for the day, and it's willing to receive what shows up in great appreciation. As always, you guys have done an outstanding job. Thank you for examining the things that I've talked about today and that Maria has us do during the week. And on behalf of Maria and me, I just want to say thank you. We appreciate you so much for showing up, being willing, being open and supportive. Thank you, and namaste.